I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. Tender moments seem to go so fast. Reminisce, reminisce. I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. Love so strong it will never pass.
Love Park Connection.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
How you guys doing today? So today we gonna talk about a little subject that really is gonna pertain to I see that older couples. So this is about dealing with menopause. Because we all got to go through it. And if you married, gentlemen, you're going to go through it.
Yeah, we go through it almost as bad as they do. We don't feel it like they do, what they feel, but we got our side that ain't talked about.
So Mr. Parker going to do a lot of the talking.
No, Mrs. Parker can do a lot of the talking too.
You're going to be talking about your side. But before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. Welcome to Love Park Connection, where we talk about the pains and pleasures of life, love, and relationships. My name is Angela Parker.
And I'm Pierre Parker.
We are a husband and wife marriage and relationship coaching duo. We've been married 27 years, together for over 30 years, and it's our goal to help Black couples love more, communicate more, and build longer, healthier marriages and long-term relationships. So please remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so when we put on new content, you guys will be notified. So, so babe.
Yeah.
Menopause.
Menopause.
Yeah, what you think about when you hear that word menopause?
I think about how I would always catch a cold in the middle of the damn night because somebody would just have the fan on all night.
Yeah, I did. I did. And he told, okay, so.
Speak. Go on, talk.
So I would have the fan on all night. So as we know, ladies, we're going to go through this. It's just inevitable. It is what it is. And men need to understand or be ready so they know how to deal with your ups and downs of your hormones. So that's why I say, Pierre will be able to do most of the talking because this is really talking to the gentleman on how to deal with it. And ladies, how you also have to, even though you're going to be going through these ups and downs, these fluctuations, you're also going to have to be aware of what you're going through in order to hopefully, if you get some help, just understand where you're coming from and what's going on in order for you to maybe negate some of it, especially the attitude, the hormonal ups and downs, the mood swings and all that. So, I mean, you thought being on your period was ups and downs and hormonal. It doesn't stop when you're going through menopause. But there are other things like hot flashes, night sweats, all that stuff that don't just impact you. It's going to impact him.
Yes.
So, like Pierre was saying, when I was going through it, I would have the fan on. And it would be, granted, California doesn't get super cold, but it gets cold enough for us, And I would have the fan on, our overhead fan on, during the winter months. And I couldn't, and then he has a lot of body heat. So, of course, he's giving off the body heat. I'm kicking off the covers, turning on the fan, and my poor husband, he was over there freezing and wearing a hat to bed.
And sweatshirts and sweatpants.
He finally told me, look, you're going to have to get a...
I bought her a fan for her nightstand that just...
It would stay
on her face.
Just right on my face all night. But even that wasn't enough. But then I also had to not just that, but also then he says I have mood swings. I don't remember having mood swings, so go ahead and talk about it since you wanted to do it. Go ahead and talk about
big
it.
time mood swings. It was basically the menstrual cycle that you guys go through. Luckily, it kind of prepares us because we get to the point to, if you with your woman or your wife or whoever at that, for a long period of time, you'll get to the point to where when they're going through their menstrual cycle, when they start getting into the attitudes and all of these different things, you kind of know how to deal with it. So by the time it gets into the menopause thing, see, the menstrual cycle was only, for a couple weeks or so, that you would have the attitude, a week or so. The menopause thing, it's almost constant.
Or it just comes out of nowhere.
It just comes out of nowhere.
It's not consistent like when you're on your menstrual cycle because you kind of know, okay, every 28 days this is what's going to happen. But menopause, it just happens. You flash.
See,
and I'm not talking about hot flashes.
That's exactly what it is. Flash. Flash. I mean, 1 minute we'll be in a car to be like, hey, yeah, babe, we such and such, such and such. And then it'll be like, yeah, and then we did such and such. And you'd be like, what? What? I did what? What you mean? I didn't do blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wait a minute, where did this come from? And then all of a sudden you flip back and you back to normal. And I'm like, oh, this is some Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde shit. I mean, just crazy out of the blue, just flip. And then, it's like 1 minute we'll be walking somewhere and you'll have your jacket on and we going and then you flipping it off. You're like, oh, it's hot. It's hot. I'm looking at you. I'm like, okay.
The one thing that I didn't experience, which I'm so thankful, because you have some women who will just flush and then all of a sudden they're just pouring sweat.
Yeah, profusely. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't, thankfully, that didn't happen to me. No. But I also, and we kind of talk about this a little bit. And again, please consult your doctor. We are not doctors. No. So please consult your doctor. I went through hormone replacement therapy, but I went with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And some, you have different perspectives on if those really work or if one hormone replacement therapy is better than the other, or even going natural. Again, talk to your doctor, do your own research. Yeah. But because I'm really about trying to do things as natural as possible. I sought out a doctor who was a medical doctor, but she is a naturopathic doctor. So I went with the bioidenticals, which helped.
And thank you.
It helped immensely, but it happened. But I didn't do that until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I started doing that. Right.
Yeah.
And I would go on and off those just to give my body a break and stuff like that. But those did help immensely for me. Also, there might be some herbs out there, and even what we eat, the food that we consume can have an effect on how we handle our menopause. So again, please do your research. Talk to your doctor. If you have a naturopathic doctor, if you want to do more holistic measures, then please, do your own research. This is just my experience and the things that I did for myself. So
yeah, and that did help out a lot.
Yeah,
a whole lot.
Right,
but before then, oh Lord.
And there's going to be other things. There's going to be other things that happen to your body that we're not going to go into detail because we're on YouTube. But there's other things that happen to a woman's body. Your sex drive might drop. And those are the things that you and your husband or your significant other are going to have to really talk about and be open, because it does happen. And if he's not prepared and you're not communicating with him what's going on and how you're feeling, then, that could cause major problems in the relationship. So you guys need to have that open communication. Yeah. And husbands, you gonna have to, or significant others, y'all gonna have to understand and be patient and work with her and reassure her that it's okay because even though men don't have menopause, they have something. Y'all, your hormones change too.
Our hormones change, and we go through our, as they call it, the midlife crises and all this stuff. And,
right.
You know, some guys go and buy their little sports cars. And, you know, and the extreme of it, some men get their little side piece, their little young side piece, you know, or whatever that is.
And that isn't it. Well, I can't say it's extreme because it happens all the time. Whether they, you know, but
some men, you know, they just start buying crazy shit, you know, or just going and do crazy shit, you know. They start
or just
playing more sports and stuff in an older age. Next thing you know, the food and talking about I done tweak my damn Achilles heel or my knee or something. They, you know,
right. But yeah, so men do have their own, you know, their own menopause. They go through their own hormonal changes as they get older. But it's really, but they don't talk about that as much as they talk about, you know, menopause for women because it is and can be a big transition in a woman's life. And I also noticed not just the physical transition that I had, but also, and not just the emotional ups and downs, but also I found myself when I started, especially when I hit 50, that I didn't have no more fucks to give. And I started saying, I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to do for me. And thankfully, Pierre is so understanding that he encouraged it. And he, you know, he was behind me 100%. But I think that's also a shift in women that at a certain age, and maybe it's due to menopause, your hormones changing, but you just feel more like, you know what, it's time for me to do for me. I love my husband, I love my family, but I need to do for me because we as women give so much of ourselves, you know, during our younger years, our 20s, 30s, and 40s, if you're married that young or just in a relationship, you give so much of yourself during that time that when you hit a certain age, you're like, you know what, it's about me now. I need to do for me. And your husband, your significant other needs to understand that and hopefully be supportive. But again, it goes back to that communication.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely.
So what would you, for the men, again, because the men need to hear from someone who's been through it, how did you handle when, you know, just my overall personality changing, meaning me doing for me and me wanting to, you know, do things that I hadn't done, that I had put on the back burner? How did you?
That for me, that was fine. I didn't mind it because, you know, for so long you had put yourself on the back burner for, you know, while I was doing the things that I was doing. So I would have been a damn idiot to have any type of pushback if you wanted to do what what you wanted to do. So, you know, I wanted you to, I encouraged that.
Right.
And I could tell that you needed to do that.
Right.
You know, so fellas, you guys, we have to be in tune to be able to understand that. We have to know that, you know, understand that they do put a lot of things on the back burner for us and for the family. And when it's time for them to want to do the things that they want to do, they should be able to do them. And we shouldn't say shit. We shouldn't have a damn thing to say about it if they've been doing it all this time. Now, if they've been doing whatever they've been wanting to do all this time and been like, damn you, that's different.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, your wife is usually there. She's taking care and she's holding down the house. Usually while, you know, we might be out working or whatever. But, you know, she needs to have that time to herself. She needs to be able to have her some me time, some girl time, whatever. You know, I don't mind.
Some travel time.
Some travel. I was just about to say she didn't went to Cuba and Europe and some other places without me. Just her and her girls.
I'd go to Portugal with my sister.
Yeah. See. But I don't care. You know, I'm like, no, do you? Because there's a lot of times when I've been gone, but I had to tell her the times that I went somewhere, I was working.
But you still got to go.
But I don't consider being there for 3 days working that I actually experienced the place.
You're right.
So, but, even still, I was gone. So, if she wants to go have a week or whatever she want to do with her girls and stuff like that, I don't mind. I have no problem at all.
Because he gets the house to himself. He gets to go in the studio without me. What you doing?
Yep.
Time for bed.
Yep. I don't have to get them threatening ass text. Bedtime. Don't have me come out there. Shoot.
Oh, that look.
Yeah, don't have me come out there.
That's not what I look like. Okay, Mr. Parker.
But yeah, it's like, fellas, let her do her sometime, man. Let her go pamper herself. That stuff, and I noticed you started doing that a lot more once you started getting into your menopause too. You were doing more going out and getting your nails done, and I guess maybe that was a mental thing to make you feel better about yourself or whatever.
Right, because you do. As women, as like I always tell him, I say, as women, as we get older, at least in this society, older women aren't revered as much as older men. We start to lose our quote unquote value, which that's bullshit. But in this society, unfortunately, we start to lose our value as older women. But men, you say, oh, he looks distinguished. That gray hair makes him look distinguished. Gray hair on women, not all women. Some women look fabulous in gray hair.
Say some of them look cool with the gray hair.
But it's not revered. You're not, they're not considered, it's not considered that dumbass word I hate, high value, which is bullshit. Now, don't get me started on that.
Look, that's a whole nother discussion. We
that
always say we got a lot of other discussions.
That triggers me. But anyway, so, I noticed when I started getting older and, going through my menopause, I didn't feel as pretty as I did, or I just felt some type of way. And he's always complimented me and always gives me the utmost, respect and compliments. And, he always shows me that. But for me, I had to like who I saw in the mirror. So I started doing, getting my nails done, going to get facials. I still dye my hair because I like my hair jet black, so I still dye my hair.
Yeah, she ain't my gonna let me see. I ain't seen the grays yet. They there. I think I seen a little.
Oh, you said the other day.
Root,
you said,
I think I seen.
You got some grays. I was like, nope.
I saw a little bit, but then she was just like, oh no.
Plus, I tell you, it helps to thicken my hair. That's another thing. My hair is getting thinner as I'm getting older and went through menopause. My hair started to get thinner, and there's not a whole lot I've tried, and I don't want to put a lot of chemicals on my scalp because it's a whole other thing with me. But I started, started darkening my hair, putting natural. I found a natural dye, more natural, that doesn't have all the extra chemicals. So I use that, and it makes my hair look thicker. So I started doing these things and other things that I'm not going to talk about. But I did that because I needed to feel good about me. It wasn't necessarily about him telling me how pretty I am and blah, 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 and all those good things. I had to feel good about myself when I looked in the mirror. So, it's just, that's another thing that we have to be open about, and men need to understand that, hey, if she wants to go and have a facial, get pampered, have a massage, of course, within reason. If she's talking about, I'm going to go have every other week, she's talking about, every other year, she's talking about going to have some type of surgery. And I'm not against that either. I'm not against people having plastic surgery within reason.
Within reason.
Then, you got to be open to that as a husband, just as you will want your wife to be open. If you felt some type of way about your body or your appearance, you'd want her to support you. So that's another thing that, for women that we start to go through, and it just, as your partner, as your husband, as your wife, you want that person to understand, this is what I need for me.
Yep. And we reap the benefits from it. We reap the benefits. Hey, if she's happy, that makes us happy.
Yep.
But I mean, and there's nothing wrong, fellas, like especially when they are going through the menopause thing, because they don't feel good about themselves, and that's where we have to come in, and we have to do things. And I would always try to come in and be like, good morning, beautiful, and
he's very good about that.
Hi, baby, how you doing? You look beautiful today. I try to. She may be feeling real bad that day or something like that. But sometimes just the little words of something like that, good morning, beautiful, hi, baby, give her a big kiss or something. Or, I'm big on groping the butt in the morning and stuff like that. But, stuff like that makes them feel better. She would get a smile on her face, even though I'd probably grab her butt or smack her on the butt or something. She might be like, stop. But really on the inside, she's like, keep doing it. Keep going. Keep on. I like that. Keep going. But, we want to do things that encourage them and make them feel better.
Right.
Because that's a rough time in their lives that they're going through.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to help them to get through it, as much as possible. And like I said, we feel it on our end by dealing with that's the other part that we have to deal with. We have to deal with the bashing and the flashing and the like I said, the freezing in the middle of the night, or the being too hot and the heater coming on, and you're like, God damn, you cold? And you're like, yeah, it's cold. It's cold in here. I'm like, shit, it's hot.
Oh, and the weight gain.
Yeah.
That has been a struggle. That has been a struggle. And that, again, that's where, the hormone replacement therapy has helped me. But again, everybody's different, so you got to figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. But the weight gain can be no joke, and you really have to check your diet. And that's always a struggle for us, especially being in America. We have so many, processed foods, and and I'm not trying to make this go into a health topic, but we really have to watch that too, because the sugars and the processed foods, and that's right, that's the main culprit. And just taking care of your overall health, because as our body changes, even on the outside it changes, but on the inside there's a lot of things that are going on as we go through menopause that we're more susceptible to as we're going through and post-menopause, that we really have to be aware of, and that we have to keep in check our health, our weight, our mental health. That all plays into it, and we really have to be aware of it and, take care of it. Don't keep putting it off, because the older we get, the harder it is to change those habits. And, one of the big things that we like to do is we walk, but I need to also, and I've told Pierre this, I need to get back into the gym, and I've said this before in another podcast, I need to get back into the gym because I'm losing muscle mass. And when you lose muscle mass, then it's harder to burn those calories. So again, we need to make sure that we're in the gym. Even if we're doing weights at home, we need to do something. We need to do some type of resistance training. And the cardio is not just good for your heart, of course, it's good for your mental health. So you need to get out there and even just go walking, go for a hike, just get out in the fresh air whenever you can.
Get outside, get some vitamin D.
Get some vitamin D. And if you can do it with your partner, even better. If you can do it with your husband, that's even better. I love our walks. I love our walks.
Yep.
So
that's where we get a lot of thought.
A lot of time
a lot of thought and discussions that come up on our walks. So
exactly, some think this will be a great podcast. Some of our best podcasts are when we go out walking,
and then we end up forgetting.
We forget. And that's another thing, memory loss, ladies. You'd be like, dang, I thought I was just, what was I just saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all a part of it. So, do your research, figure out what works best for you, and just make sure you get a handle on it as best you can. And gentlemen, this is the time where you need to be loving, sweet, as understanding as possible. But ladies, don't bash him too much, because a man can only take so much of your bashing. Even though, he understands you might be going through menopause, you still need to figure out how to get, especially that emotion, get those emotions under control.
Yeah.
So you're not bashing them too hard, because there's only so much anybody can take.
Yeah. And my brothers, if it start to be too much bashing, just hop in the car and just take a drive, go on somewhere. I ain't saying go to the bar. Don't go do that. Don't go to the strip club. Just
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Go to the
Go
gym.
to the gym, right?
Just get away. Walk away.
Walk away.
And then when you come back, she'll probably be like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's what happened with us. You know?
And the ladies have to recognize that if you lash out, then it's probably due to your hormones. So don't be afraid to apologize, because then hopefully he'll understand that that's what's going on, and he will accept that apology, and you guys move on from there.
And remember, brothers, they don't understand that they what
sometimes
it is.
you don't realize
they
it,
don't
right.
realize it sometimes.
Right.
So
Right.
But that's
a part of
that's the main
that's a
thing.
part of the relationships, and that's a part of growing old together. So they're gonna go through theirs.
Yep.
But anyway, so thank you guys for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell when you subscribe, and when you share, then this podcast gets out to other people, and they're able to see what we're talking about, and hopefully it helps them.
Yeah.
And then when you it helps us out too with the algorithms, and definitely subscribe and hit the notification. And please sign up for our email list so you can get information about my upcoming book, 30 Years and Counting, that's scheduled to come out December 9th on our anniversary. It'll be our 28th anniversary, wedding anniversary, at loveparkconnection.com. The information will be in the description. So please, please, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification. All right?
Okay.
Anything else, baby?
That's it.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.